Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Bree's Toys. I am Stephanie Bree, and today I'm talking about why Star Wars toys actually kind of suck. There's a couple of asterisks that go with this discussion, but by and large, Star Wars toys are not good toys. They're not. They're not. So let's go all the way back to the beginning, the Kenner brand. The Kenner Star Wars toys, and then the Kenner Power of the Force toys. As far as action figures goes, even for the time they were released, they sucked. They look nothing like the characters they're supposed to represent. They barely look like what you're told they are. The marketers say this is Han Solo, and you just say, okay, sure, whatever you say, dude. They're not very good. As far as articulation goes, their arms do this, and their legs kick. And some of them, their heads turn, and that's it. Shit rubbish articulation. Even for the time when you compare them to other action figures on the market, they suck. Now, this is not news. Everybody knows, yeah, okay, they suck, but the vehicles are cool. Well, are they? I mean, really, are they? Not really. When you compare them side by side with other vehicles at the time, whether it be Tonka, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Masters of the Universe, etc. No, they're not great. They are whatever they're supposed to be. X-Wing, TIE Fighter, Millennium Falcon, whatever. But they're big and clunky and come with a lot of shit you're going to lose. And they're very flimsy plastic. They break easy. They're not good toys. Why are Star Wars toys popular? Well, yeah, you're screaming at the monitor right now. Shut up, asshole. I have 150 Star Wars toys. Yes, you do. I do too. We all do. Because we were duped into buying Star Wars toys because Star Wars is so great. The movies are so fucking good. We will buy rubbish memorabilia and merchandise and shit because we just love Star Wars so much. We don't care that the toys are rubbish. We're just like, hey, I'm just happy to have a Luke Skywalker on my toy shelf. Even though it looks more like one of the Bradys from the Brady Bunch than actually Luke Skywalker. But I don't care. So yeah, that's the original Kenner line. Then you have the 90s and you get it. We're skipping over the rubber bendies. Fuck that shit. I don't talk about bendies. Those were garbage anyways. I don't have to tell you bendies are garbage. We get into Power of the Force 2, which was just called Power of the Force, but fans call it Power of the Force 2 because Kenner did call their post Return of the Jedi line Power of the Force. I'm not even talking about the goddamn cardboard fucking playsets they tried to sell. I'm not even talking about that. Or the shit toys that should have been G.I. Joe that they sold as Star Wars toys that were off camera. I'm not even talking about that. Shit that wasn't even in the movies. We were so stupid as kids. We bought everything that had the word Star Wars on it. We didn't know any better. Now, Power of the Force 2 is the toy line I collect. So, yes, I will say I like it. I collect it because that's where my nostalgia is. Because I was born in 82. By the time I was old enough to buy Star Wars toys, they'd already stopped making them. They weren't selling them anymore. So I don't have that nostalgia a lot of people have. I don't have that fondness for these rubber bricks that a lot of people have. Because they are rubber bricks. That's all they are. But Power of the Force 2, they took a different direction. One, the action figures looked more like modern action figures. So they did bulk them up a little bit. And they made the head sculpts a little bit more accurate to the movies. I say a little bit. They still didn't look exactly like the movie toys, but they looked a little bit more like the movie characters than the originals did, so you gave them a pass. Aside from the fact that Luke Skywalker looked like a WWF wrestler and not Farm Boy from Tatooine, we'll put that aside for a second. These ones came with better sculpted guns and accessories, and the vehicles in the Power of the Force 2 line were better than the OG OG Kenner toys, but they still weren't great. They're still flimsy plastic. This time they tried to compensate with electronic components, which is one of those things that's like neat when you're 8 years old and you get a TIE Fighter that has TIE Fighter engine sounds. But when you're an adult collector 25 years later and you've got battery acid to clean out of your toy, and you got electronics that don't work anymore, and you either got to repair them or do without. They're not so great. Not so great. But putting that aside, they're not. I'm not saying they're bad per se. I'm just saying they're not as good as you think they are, or people say they are. But by and large, yeah, they do kind of suck. Then you get into the prequel era toys, which was continuing the Power of the Force style. Now, they tried some new things with the prequels, but by and large, it was the same as the Power of the Force toys. So, are they better than the Kenner toys? I mean, somewhat. Are they good action figures? Not really. They're still at this point, not as good as G.I. Joe. And this is after Hasbro bought Kenner, so they had the Star Wars license. They could have used G.I. Joe articulation and detailing and their Star Wars toys, and they chose not to. And the reason why they don't is they make the cheapest fucking action figure they can when it comes to Star Wars, because they know you're going to buy it anyways. You're not buying it for the... They don't have to make an effort to make a good toy. You're just going to buy it anyways because they said that's Han Solo, so you bought it. They said that's Princess Leia, so you bought it. You don't care that it looks nothing like Princess Leia, and as far as action figures go, it sucks. You don't care because it's Princess Leia. Now, we've done a lot of Star Wars toys since then, and I'm not going to get into all of them, break them down year by year, line by line, because by and large, even today, the modern Star Wars toys really haven't improved. And there's two reasons they haven't improved. Reason number one, we just talked about. Hasbro really doesn't want to invest a lot of money in these toys, so they make them as cheap as they can. Reason number two is you assholes. You assholes out there who are so caught up in the fucking shit 70s toys, you can't grow up and get over it as toy collectors, that they keep making Star Wars toys in that shit retro style because that's what people want, because that's what they're nostalgic for. Fuck off. I'm so sick to goddamn death of Kenner style Star Wars toys, and don't even get me started on that bullshit Super 7 reaction line. Fuck off. I hate that line. Rubbish. Now, are all Star Wars toys piles of suckage? Not really. There are some good ones, some decent ones out there. The Transformers Star Wars crossovers toys are pretty neat. The Clone Wars toys, for some reason, were actually pretty good. And also the Micro Machines are all fantastic. And then we get into the Black Series. The Black Series is where Hasbro decided, you know what? Let's make an effort and make actual good Star Wars action figures. So, yes, the Black Series does exist, thank God, for people like me who want a real action figure that looks like the character from the movie, that has actual articulation and is made out of good quality materials. The problem with the Black Series, again, going back to Star Wars toys kind of suck. The Black Series is cool and all, don't get me wrong. It is, and I have some Black Series toys, and I love the Black Series. It's too big. They can't make vehicles for the Black Series because they would be making $100 toys. And no one's going to pay $100 for an X-Wing. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but I ain't. By and large, nobody is. The diehards will, but they're gonna 3D print their own anyways. The diehards. Or kit bash something else that some other toy collector made. I don't know, whatever. So the downfall of the Black Series is the toys are too big. They can't really make X-Wings. And can you imagine a Millennium Falcon in the Black Series scale? Oh my God, that would be a $500 action figure. Or I mean toy. That'd be a $500 toy. Brand new in the box at retail. That ain't happening. That is not ever going to happen. So yeah, by and large, I love Star Wars, don't get me wrong. I collect Star Wars, don't get me wrong. But yeah, objectively, as a toy, they kind of suck. They really do. We buy them because we love Star Wars so much. We'll literally put up with garbage toys because they won't give us anything else. And when they do give us a high quality toy, it's a mixed bag. Because it's like, the figures are cool, but they're too big a scale to get vehicles and playsets, which is like the best part. So there you go. Yeah. I'm sorry to burst your bubble.